Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to RPG Horror Stories. I'm your host, Natsumi, and hey, thank you for clicking on the video. I really appreciate it. And hey, listen, if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe. Hit that button down there. We're really close to hitting the 100 subscriber milestone for the channel, and once we hit it, I'm going to be reading the Old Man Henderson tale, the very thing that started the Henderson Scale. Now, on with the video. When the two most fun players ruin a game. Prologue, a short story about one of the most fun and, at the time, disappointing games I've ever played in terms of RPGs was a Pathfinder 1st edition game. We were 6 players strong, mostly friends of the DM. Some of us knew each other already, most did not. Session 1. It was insanely fun. Honestly, one of the best times I have ever had with an RPG. While the story did not sound too exciting, Asmodeus and Abadar, basically two lawful deities arguing over a technicality in a contract with potentiality for far-reaching consequences. It was really well told. At the very least, we could experience a bit of it in one session. And it ended with a very large cliffhanger. The biggest reason why the session was great, though, were two of the players, let's call them A and B. They both had similar personalities. Very sarcastic and witty, and they had a lot of fun teasing each other both in and out of game. And apparently, they had met for the first time. It was all in good spirits, though, and both of them could dish out as well as they could take, resulting in a lot of fun and back and forth banter. In-game, their characters tried to consistently and constantly outwit each other, but never at the expense of the group as a whole. And when things got tough, they would always pull through. So, we all left in pretty high spirits, looking very much forward to the next session. However, as the date came closer, our DM seemed to be strangely hesitant, delaying the session and clearly making excuses for postponing from one date to the next, without giving a clear reason why. Still, with everyone else, or so I thought, looking forward to it, he couldn't really say no, and ultimately the second session took place. Session 2, Disaster Strikes. Being pretty much as soon as it started, it became clear why our Dungeon Master had been so hesitant. A and B were clearly hating each other for, at the time, unclear reasons. Where they would have fun back and forth teasing going before, they now mostly say incredibly personal, passive-aggressive insults, leaving the rest of the table in awkward silence while both of them get more and more angry at each other. Okay, before I go further, I wouldn't have just given excuses after excuses as to why we had to postpone. I would have literally just told everyone, listen, A and B are having a little bit of a scuffle right now. I want to either wait this through, let them become friends again, or we're going to have to tackle this, really just confront the issue head on before we can continue, because otherwise it's going to bleed into our sessions and it's not going to be fun for anybody. Now, on with the video. Instead of rolling with the punches or laughing at themselves when the other one said something clever, they reacted touchy and petty to just about anything and everything, attacking other players for agreeing to anything the other said, and where before they would cooperate in character if necessary, they were now clearly undermining the entire group as long as the other person suffers, refusing to heal each other, making strange excuses why they couldn't come to the other's support. I try to help you, but stumble on my way. All the while pretending like something was just fucking normal. The entire situation was incredibly awkward for the rest of the group. Kinda felt like being invited to dinner with a couple and then hearing them fight constantly about private and personal stuff, while trying to convince you as a total outsider to take their side. If that comparison makes any sense, it does, and it's haunting. They clearly did not pull any punches either, making jokes about the other family, sexual experience while playing it all off as fun teasing when being called out on it. Our Dungeon Master, bless his soul, did all he could, but at one point he even forcefully split up the party to separate them, and it was all for nothing. Even with both of them at different parts of the city, they would call out each other's roles or decisions constantly, and for some reason seemed to do everything in their power to get back together, just so they could start fighting again. The night ended when one of the players very obviously faked an emergency back home to get out of the situation, to the unspoken relief of everyone else at the table. The aftermath. Our Dungeon Master explained to me. Oh god, my face tracking, it broke. The aftermath. The Dungeon Master explained to me later what happened. Apparently because A and B got along so well, they continued talking afterwards, out of our first session, online. Here's where both of their stories differ. In general, both assured the DM that the other person had insulted them, and they started fighting because of it. My suspicion is that one of them just went a bit too far with their teasing, though impossible to say who, and it spiraled out of control from there. The problem was that A, the DM, was friends with both of them. B, it was impossible to tell who was at fault with both of them pointing at the other. And C, they had assured the Dungeon Master that they wanted to continue the game and had asked him not to tell us what happened because it would spoil the mood. We talked about how to proceed onwards, but all the options were bad. Kicking one of them from the group would inevitably mean losing the other as a friend, while kicking both of them would mean losing two important characters and potentially two friends. And since the second session left such a bad taste in our mouth, we decided to just cancel the game, unable to really restart it or start a new one. Well, as I said, I personally think that the best bet is to postpone the sessions until things are taken care of. Who gives a shit if it would spoil the mood? Just fucking be upfront with the players and tell them, hey, listen, something came up, a couple of people are fighting, I want to make sure everything is Gucci before we continue on. You don't have to list names, just be like, hey, a couple of people are fighting. Let's just make sure shit's Gucci, and then I'll continue DMing. I don't want it to bleed in. That's all you really have to do. You didn't have to stop the campaign, and I really think that running this campaign while they were still arguing with each other, still fighting, is ultimately going to be more damaging for their relationship as friends than just fucking confronting them about it, being like, hey, listen, who insulted who, let's fucking take care of this, blank slate, you're friends again. That's all it takes. Because, listen, I know that parents say this shit a lot, and it's corny as all fuck, but it takes two to tango. It really does. Quite frankly, I see a tango going on here, so you really do need to bring that up. Much love and stay sexy. Bad DMs and terribly designed items. The DM NPC gives away various wondrous items to the team. My girlfriend receives a Cloak of the Bat. The DM, if you wear it, you just become an ordinary bat and you have the bat stats. Player, bats just have 1 HP. If I go to 0 or below it, I go back to my human form, right? The DM, no. You die. Place, no, wait, what? But bats have just 1 HP, and shapeshifting doesn't work like that in 3.5. The DM, it is what it is, as I said. If you don't like it, don't use it. We left a couple sessions later. Come on, DM, if you're trying to give horrible magic items to your party, at least give them a ring of dispel magic that can only dispel magic inside of the ring. I read on a Reddit post to use that. Never again will I, but I advise that you do it. To learn. No matter what, magic items have use. If you specifically make a magic item to not have use, it's not a magic item. It's a curse. On with the next post. Forgetting the organization's name made me say something racist. Was doing Storm King's Thunder. The playgroup finished clearing the town of goblins, met with the 7 snakes, and decided to kill the remaining guards. I forgot their organization name, so I'm like, according to the black people? I have 2 black players in my group. One of the players looked me dead in the eye, leaned forward, both hands slapped the table softly, and said, "The what?" I shuffled through the book to where they named their organization and said, while in full nerves, the Black Network. But I thought you said. Honestly, I think all this is just like, they were calling, I think they were making sort of an internal joke between each other on racism as a whole. I don't think that this was racist. It's just an honest mistake, and they were just making a joke at the same time as calling you out on it. I actually say that I applaud them for doing so. Too many times DMs can end up actually being racist, and they end up bringing that into the game, which really sucks for everyone involved, the Dungeon Master included. Now, that's all I have for today. Much love and stay sexy. I hope to see you guys tomorrow, and I'll be streaming later on twitch.tv/Suyu Natsuni. And I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye!